Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going deep on a really interesting track. Alec Benjamin's I Sent My Therapist to Therapy. We'll be digging into the lyrics, the story, all of it.
Yeah, and our main source for this is the Genius Lyrics page for the song. It's great because it has the full lyrics, obviously, but also some background info from Alec Benjamin himself, plus the production credits. Really useful stuff.
Absolutely. And this deep dive, it's really for you, the learner, someone who likes to get straight to the core of an idea. Our goal here is, well, to unpack the story in the song.
Figure out what Benjamin was maybe getting at.
Exactly. And perhaps touch on, the bigger picture around mental health, support, those complexities.
It's quite a song title, isn't it? Definitely grabs your attention.
It really does. So let's jump right in. Where should we start? Maybe the basic story.
Okay, yeah. Let's walk through the narrative. Verse 1 kicks things off in a pretty standard way, right? Therapy session starting.
Right. Take a seat over there, on the chair by the couch. Tell me what you've been thinking about. It establishes that safe space idea.
Yeah, nothing you can say that's out of bounds. You can trust me. Swear I'm here for you now. It's exactly what you'd expect to hear. The setup.
But then things take a turn. That pre-chorus.
Ah, yes. Oh, well, the mood just changed. He started acting strange. That's the pivot point, clearly. The dynamic just flips.
It totally flips, and it leads straight into that really memorable chorus.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can be her up. Of any help, think I need help now, is what he said to me.
Wow. And that line, I'm so messed up, I sent my therapist to therapy, it repeats, hammering home that core idea. It's quite jarring, but also kind of catchy.
It is catchy. And what's interesting is how the lyrics immediately point out the irony. Might even need it more than me now. Oh, the irony.
Yeah, he doesn't leave you guessing. He flags it right there. Makes you think, doesn't it? About, who we expect to be strong all the time.
Exactly. And then verse 2 really drives that role reversal home. The patient is now almost comforting the therapist.
So I got up from the chair where I sat by the couch. She said to me, could you sit back down?
You can almost picture the therapist looking lost there.
Yeah, and the lines, thought that I'd seen it all, turns out I was wrong. Wish I could help you out, you'll have to be strong. The patient is suddenly the one offering, well, support.
It's such a turnaround. Then verse 3 moves the story forward in time a bit. There's this chance encounter later.
Right. I went out yesterday to get food from the store and ran into the man from before, right by the exit door. So we get a follow-up.
And we find out the therapist actually did seek help.
Said that he went to go and look for some help. A funny thing happened, and I said, do tell them. Oh, and the story is,
And then that cyclical bit. My doctor found a doctor, and his doctor told him, leading back to the therapist needing help again.
It really emphasizes this idea that, needing support isn't a one-off thing. It can be ongoing, and it affects everyone. It's kind of a loop.
A human loop, yeah. So thinking about Alec Benjamin himself, the Genius page mentions he's talked about his own struggles. It does. It notes he's been grappling with his mental health, and that writing this song, addressing it head-on, was actually helpful for him. Therapeutic, you could say.
That makes sense. And there's that quote from Rolling Stone, also on Genius.
Oh yeah, the one where he says, releasing the song is the ultimate form of therapy.
Right. It combines the two most therapeutic things in my life into one, music and therapy itself. That's pretty direct about his intent.
And he hopes it provides catharsis for listeners too. It really grounds the song in his personal experience, even with the slightly humorous title.
So it's not just a funny concept, it's rooted in vulnerability. And this idea that mental health struggles are universal.
Yeah, they don't care what your job title is. Even the people providing help might need it themselves.
It sort of chips away at that idea of the therapist as this, untouchable figure.
Exactly. It normalizes needing help, which feels like a really important message.
Okay, maybe let's quickly touch on the production side, just the facts.
Sure, so the song is track 7 on the deluxe version of his album, 12 Notes.
Which came out December 8th, 2023.
Right. The standard album had 12 tracks. The deluxe has 16.
And the producer was Jordy.
Yep. And the writers listed are Alec Benjamin, Edith Chimoni, and Jordy as well. A collaborative effort.
Good to know. And the album context, other tracks like Ways to Go, In a Little, Pick Me, just gives a sense of the whole project.
Okay, so circling back to the meaning, the interpretations, that irony we mentioned is key, isn't it?
Definitely. I sent my therapist to therapy. What does that irony really suggest about our expectations?
Well, I think it taps into that tendency we have to see helpers, like therapists or doctors, as almost superhuman. Like they shouldn't have problems themselves.
Right. It's like thinking your mechanic's car never breaks down. It's unrealistic.
Totally. And the song kind of pokes fun at that, but gently. It highlights how absurd that expectation really is.
And through that, it promotes this sense of shared humanity, maybe, that everyone's vulnerable sometimes.
Yeah, the caregiver needing care. It's a powerful image for showing that we're all in this together, essentially.
Do you think it helps destigmatize things? Using a bit of humor, this surprising scenario?
I think it can, yeah. It makes the topic feel a bit less heavy, maybe more approachable for some people. It's not presented as this dark, grim secret, but as this kind of surprising, ironic twist.
Like, hey, this happens too.
Exactly. It opens a door to conversation in a slightly different way.
It does make you wonder, though, who helps the helpers?
That's a really important question it raises, even implicitly. That chain reaction in the lyrics, "My doctor found a doctor," it hints at the need for support systems for everyone.
Especially for those whose job is providing support. They need resources, too. It can't just be a one-way street.
Absolutely. It underscores the need for robust support networks, peer support, supervision, all those things that help sustain people in caring professions.
So wrapping up our deep dive here on I Sent My Therapist to Therapy, we've kind of walked through the narrative, that surprising role reversal.
We looked at Alec Benjamin's personal connection, how writing it was therapeutic for him and his hopes for the listener.
And we touched on those bigger themes, the irony, the shared vulnerability, maybe even a bit of destigmatization.
Hopefully for you listening, this exploration has maybe offered a new way to think about the song and about, giving and receiving support in general.
It's complex stuff, and maybe here's something to chew on. The song uses this, maybe exaggerated scenario, but it pushes us to think. When the people we count on need support themselves, what does that truly tell us about how interconnected we all are and how universal that need for help really is?
A really interesting thought to end on.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.